Hello, Bay Area, Sunday, and welcome to another exciting episode with your Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah. Today, we are diving into the future of construction and remodeling with a special guest, Naresh from NT Bay Area, a seasoned expert who has seen the industry shifts firsthand. We'll explore how homes are evolving with the smart technology, sustainable materials, modular builds, and rising homeowner expectations. If you are a homeowner thinking about a remodeling, a builder looking to stay ahead, or simply curious about what's shaping the construction world in 2025, this episode is for you. Stay tuned. Hello, Naresh. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Nagaraj. Thank you for having me here. Thank you for listeners who are tuning in and listening to the show.
Listeners, if you have any questions on the Bay Area real estate or any questions on the constructions, remodeling, you can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bali 92, 877 Bali 92. You're listening to Real Estate Show from Nagaraj Annaiah, and I'm joined by special guest Naresh from NT Bay Area. Naresh, let's start with one important thing, right? Can you start by sharing a bit? You are doing a lot of shows with me, but still there are a lot of listeners who's listening first time, right? Like, can you share a bit about your background and types of projects you're currently working on construction related?
Yeah, definitely. So myself, I'm Naresh. My background is I'm a civil engineer back home. And then after me coming here, I did my master's. After doing my master's, I used to be a project manager and working as a civil engineer for one of the well-known construction company in the Bay Area.
Okay.
So I used to do the project management and then engineering side. I used to take care of those two departments for the last 5-6 years. And then after that, I do got my experience in the construction industry and then applied as a contractor, state license board as for a contractor.
Okay.
So from there, I applied it and then I have cleared the exams and then they issued me the contractor license. So if I do have my contractor license from 2016.
Okay.
But I do have an experience prior, like 7 years of experience prior. So altogether, I do have an experience like 17, 18 years in total.
Wow, that's a great experience, Naresh. Like, looks like you're helping out a lot of clients. And last week, I remember, like, you helped my one of my client who had an issues with the solar, like not a solar, like PG&E issues,
Correct.
where one of the contractor left them in between and they could not complete the project. And
Correct.
thank you for helping them in middle and helping them to complete the project on that.
No problem. Anytime. That's my job.
Yeah, but listeners, like, see, when you hire a contractor, right, never look for a lower price, lower bid. Look for a contractors who can build complete your project with right things, right? Like, not like whoever leaves a project and runs away. If you have any questions on anything on the Bay Area real estate related or anything on the construction related, we are live. I'm Nagaraj Annaiah. I'm live with Naresh from NT Bay Area. You can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bali 92.
And then I would like to add something for you on that note.
Yeah.
So a lot of homeowners, they are looking for a cheaper contractor. That shouldn't be the case. The contractor need to make money, so that's why he can do a good job for you.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes contractor is giving a less bid, meaning he's not the right contractor. You just need to do the research. And then also the contractor need to be local. Contractor cannot be, their offices not be in probably far away from the Tracy or Sacramento. No, the contractor office need to be here. And then another important thing is contractor need to be knowledgeable. Contractor need to be very knowledgeable. A lot of contractors, they don't do big construction projects. They only stick to some small remodeling works, some small repair work, those things they do. Even though they have a license, but they're not experienced in doing those jobs. So you need to find a contractor who is local, who have expertise in doing big scale of construction, and then who is knowledgeable enough. Okay. That's what I would like to share.
But let's shift a gear a little bit. Okay, I think we didn't discuss about your projects, what you're doing in, but there's a couple of questions which is lined up from the listeners out there. With the high cost of buying a new home, right? Many Bay Area homeowners are asking, should I remodel instead, right? Remodeling can indeed, we know that, like, boost your home values, but not projects pay off equal. Not all projects pay off equally, right?
Correct.
We have some eye-popping stats from 2000 cost versus value report. For instance, something as simple as new garage door, right, or steel entry door replacement and recoup will over 100% of every cost, right? Like, what do you say about that?
Normally, it's like a tricky question. There is no like a straightforward answer because the problem is it all depends on the client's requirement. Because sometimes, when we try to do the remodel, right, we will for sure make it like a brand new home. You'll get a feel when we enter inside, you feel like a brand new home. Everything got upgraded, electrical got upgraded, plumbing got upgraded, new fresh paint, level 5 finish, and new floors, new cabinets. We can do everything. You will spend a lot of money. But at the same time, sometimes that cost could be like 150,000, 200,000, 250,000, depends on what kind of, remodeling work you are doing.
Okay.
So it all depends on the client. If the client is willing to, stay in that house for another 10, 15 years, if they think that's the home for them for another 30 years or so, then definitely it's worth of investing that much money in that. But some homeowners, they are not sure. They wanted to have, okay, my kid's gonna go to high school, so anyways, I'm gonna sell this home at that point. So I might need to buy another home in the other area where my kids are going to school. If that is the case, then I would say like, don't do it. Don't do it. It's not worth it because you are investing in huge money. That money you can invest in doing some kind of down payment for the other house in the other area. What you're looking for, sell as is.
No, I think, see, that's a valid point. It becomes a tricky, right? Like, for example, your house is a 1,200 square footage or 1,000 square footage, right? Maybe if you bought a house in Santa Clara, let's assume you bought a house in Santa Clara and it's 1,200 square footage. It's better to add, it again depends on the family scenarios, what is their age of the families, or right, like for example, for them, maybe adding a 500, 600 square footage in Santa Clara is better than all the way going to a Pleasanton, right?
Definitely.
You go buy it in a Pleasanton for like maybe 1.8, 1.9, 2,000 square footage. Instead of that, like you bought a house around 1.5 or 1.4-ish in Santa Clara, adding a couple of 200K and make the house bigger, that makes better sense moving all the way, because right now the offices are opening up. Correct. You go, see, it's based on the scenarios.
Correct. I agree with you. Nowadays, I see like a lot of my clients, they are asking the companies, they're asking them to work 5 days a week in the office. So which is like kind of getting to a tricky situation. So if the offices are in Santa Clara, they don't want to drive from all the way from Pleasanton, Dublin, or Tracy, wherever it is. So they prefer to have something local, so where the commute will be very less. But I definitely agree with your point. So I definitely 100% agree, because when you try to buy a home like for 1,300, you can definitely add another 400-500 square feet and then make it, the house looks bigger, and then also remodel the existing home the way that you want it. But it all takes time, time meaning.
I think, see, that's where the management comes into it. See, for example, if you're going to need it from the next 1 year, right? Like after the 1 year, you can start pulling the plans, permits, and everything for 1 year. Or it maybe even take a 7 to 8 months of the plans pulling the permits, right? You pull the permits for 6 to 8 months, and after that, maybe you can move in for a rental property for a 6 months, right? So it's if you can take a 6 months of risk, right, or a 6 months of effort, it still makes a sense for you, because even you're spending a 200K, but your home value returns, like basically you're adding a 500 square footage. It pretty much in Santa Clara right now is 1,200, 1,500 square footage, right? So it's 500 into 1,500 square footage. It's always fetches you more than 600, 700K return values, right?
Correct. Absolutely.
Okay. You spend 200K for 500 square footage, but your return values are almost 500K. Correct? That is where the expert comes into your play, right? Like the team, especially like me being a realtor and you being on helping on the remodeling or construction stuff, right? That makes a difference. Listeners, you listening to Real Estate Show, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah. I'm talking to Naresh from NT Bay Area. You just bought a house and you basically, or you own the house, you bought like 3-4 years and you want to add an ADUs and you would like to understand how to ADUs works, this is a time. Or if you want to know more about the Bay Area real estate, you can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bolly 92. We are live on a Bolly 92.3 today.
So speaking of the projects that very similar to it, so we are actually having we are actually design and build project construction company, which I was telling you on the other shows as well, where the design team goes in the up front, and then take all the measurements, do the architectural drawings, do the structural drawings, submit the city, get it approved, and then do the construction. So those kind of projects, we have one going on in Saratoga, which is 1250 square feet ADU, which is brand new. It's a 3-bedroom, 2.5 bath ADU. And then we have another project in Sunnyvale, which is 1100 square foot addition and complete remodel of the home. And then we have another project in Fremont, which is 1200 square feet ADU and then complete remodel of the house. Okay, and then we have one house in San Ramon area, which was fire damage, so the complete house got burned down. We were fixing that home, and then bathrooms and kitchens we do come and goes, you know. And also we have 4 projects in the Fremont area, which are like addition and then remodeling of the home. And then one project that is coming up in Santa Clara, which are in the planning phase. And then we are also having 3 new homes that we need to construct in Union City. The plans got already approved. It's the final stage of getting approved.
I think there's a lot. It's a lot of projects. I think that's where my next question is.
Yes.
The reason I was asking you about the projects you're working in. It's exciting to hear you work helping out so many clients, but how do you time manage if somebody reaches out to you, right? Like with the new projects, how do you manage them, right? How do you? It's a time sharing, right?
Correct.
You being in a sole responsible for all these projects, how do you time management, or how do you make sure the clients gets all the projects completed on time?
Okay. Thank you. That's really a good question. Lot of listeners who thinks that I do this one as a part-time, but absolutely not. This is my full-time job. So normally what I do is my mornings are always going to each and every project site, checking and making sure how the things are going. And then from 2 o'clock to 5 o'clock to 6 o'clock is only for meetings, client calls, going and meeting clients in person, talking to them, answering their questions. And then, of course, because as a contractor, I'm like a responsible person to make sure, the homeowners are getting the right way that they wanted to build, and also making sure everything is aligning, and then making sure the electricians, plumbers, and then other carpentry people, they're doing their job. I need to manage. So since I do have a 50 people crew in my company, so which are who are very much experienced in their trades. Normally, I don't let them do, one guy. I don't want to jump in different areas. I have 3-4 people only work in electrical. That's their specialty. I don't want to ask them to go do something else. 3-4 people only on plumbing. And then I have 15 people who does foundation and framing. That's what they do every day. The reason why I kept these why do I differentiate them? Because whenever they keep doing one thing repeatedly over a period of time, they'll be an expert. So that means I just need to tell them, okay, remember we did that project in that way, same exact way, we have to do this way. So for me, I have to be monitoring them less. I don't have to be, involving too much, but I still go and see the projects. Yeah.
Listeners, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, we are live on a Bolly 92.3, and we're discussing about all the construction related, Bay Area real estate related. If you have any questions, you can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Bolly 92. Don't go anywhere. We are taking a quick break. We'll join you soon.
You've got a job, but no house. Savings, but no equity. A family, but no backyard. Even your favorite Zillow listing, but no approval. Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, your trusted Bay Area real estate expert, will help you, whether you're a first-time buyer, investor, or if you're on a visa. From buying and selling to mortgage solutions, Nagaraj Annaiah has you covered. Call 858-880-4577. That's 858-880-4577, or visit nagarajhomes.com. Find the home that fits your future.
Yes, welcome back to the show. Myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah. Like finding your home for your future, making your future have wealthier. That's what my goal is. Today, I'm joined by Naresh from NT Bay Area, and we are going to we are discussing all about construction and a Bay Area real estate. Okay, so Naresh, like let's shift our gaze a little bit. Okay,
Okay.
how do you describe the biggest shift you have seen in a construction and remodeling over the last few years, right? Like what is the shift is happening around? Are you noticing any changes happening in? I think one I'm going to notice is all about the right now is about the China stuff, what's happening in around. How the I already see that 30% jump is going to be happening on the home prices or even the remodeling stuff. What is the other things you're noticing? Like, are you seeing any impacts already on this? The China trade wars.
I do see a change in the in the materials that are availability, and then availability of materials. It's slightly, it's not that of availability perspective. It's not that much available. So, but there is a spike in pricing. That's what I definitely see. And then also I see, the amount of calls that we get when compared to the last year to this year, it was affected like 15-20% from last year. Last year, this time we get a lot of inquiries and a lot of calls. We don't see that much right now because a lot of people might be thinking that this is not the right time to do the construction. But hope everything goes well.
No, but I think this is the time the smartness comes in.
Correct.
Right? See, when the contractors have a less work to do it, right? They can get a more better bidding, right? And if somebody is looking to buy a house, this is the time for them to look for a buy house.
Definitely.
Because they can get a very good price. I've already discussed about last week on how somebody can basically negotiate the prices on it. And the China trade was what's happening on around. I think it certainly will home prices, especially once the interest rate starts coming in. We know all this, like somewhere down the lane, in maybe next few months, we will be soon seeing the interest rates changes. Okay, once the interest rates start changing the differences, this home prices is not going to be staying the same thing.
Correct.
There would be a spike going on, right?
Yeah.
So once the spike going on and every buyer starts jumping in, the smartness comes in now. If somebody is like making a difference, right? So yeah, and I think the construction not only about I'm talking about the China things. Other things, are you noticing any design stuffs are happening? Any common things are you noticing? And a lot of people are asking the more of a quartz countertops, what we discussed in. Anything else you are noticing in the difference?
The one difference I'm noticing is a lot of clients, they are going towards more sustainable materials in terms of reusing the existing structure, make it, instead of demoing completely, saving some structure and then redoing. So normally, which would be like in two ways. One, it would be like you can build a brand new home without removing much of the structure, most of the structure can be reused, for which your home is not categorized in new construction category. So which on a high level you pay less taxes, you'll be benefited, but you get a big new home. So there is a lot of advantage in doing this way, because if not, you have to have 5 sprinklers get installed to your home, which would be like another 30,000 or something extra on top.
30,000 is cheaper, Naresh. I think I see that fire sprinkler costs are nowadays is more than that.
Correct. This is the residential part. Residential, the sprinkler heads that you see, this is what I'm talking about. Okay, and then it also depends on the size of the home.
I think I would like to discuss more on the fire sprinklers, as you said, right? Fire sprinklers involves two things, right? One is the residential. Does it need a dedicated water line, or like they can use the existing water line itself, or do you need to get a new water line for the fire sprinklers?
So sometimes for residential, they go kind of okay, they don't pick too much, and then the only thing that we need to see is how much pressure it is coming in.
Correct.
So what is the pressure that is being used inside the home, and then whether it is okay for them. Most of the places, the water pressure is really high, so it is manageable. Okay. But some places, we had worked in one place in Milpitas Hills. We did one new construction in 2 years back.
Mhm.
In that place, the pressure of water is not enough.
Okay.
So we need to boost it up.
Okay.
We need to boost it up, get it to some pressure,
Mhm.
and then have it installed.
Okay.
Okay.
So for residentials, existing water lines can be used.
Can be used, yeah.
Listeners, myself, Realtor Nagaraj Annaiah, and I'm talking to Naresh from NTB area, and we're discussing everything about the constructions and remodeling. And you're one of the buyers or like homeowners who would like to understand more about this. You can give us a call. Our studio line numbers are 877 Wally 92 87 something resembles, or like you have questions on this, say similar lines what we are discussing. You can give us, or you can pitch in also. Our studio line numbers are 877 Wally 92. So for the commercial stuff, Naresh, like I think we need a dedicated power line.
Correct,
So
correct,
dedicated water lines. And as you said, the first needs to be water pressure needs to be tested. To get that water pressure, you need to ask the cities. Cities comes and checks the existing water, the
Correct.
PSIs in the existing water lines, and based on that, you design the fire sprinklers.
Correct. Yeah, definitely.
Correct.
Yes.
So, and again, as you said, the fire sprinklers, depending on the square footage, price can go up for you.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
But one more thing on this lines, right? Like if somebody has owned the house and they're planning to sell the house. Okay. And what do you suggest? Like, do you suggest for them to remodel and sell it, or come up with some fine touches so that the house looks better?
Yeah. So what I would recommend them is, depending upon how much time they have, and then depending upon how much scope they have, we can make it absolutely brand new home by remodeling all the interior, okay, without adding square footage, without being the walls being removed. If that is the case, then definitely we can wrap up the project in 1 month to month and a half. But if they're trying to add some square footage and then sell it, then definitely whatever the investment they put it in the home, they'll get double the dollar amount they put it on. So, and then it is worth it. But it takes time.
Let me stop you there. Sorry. I think, see, double up, nobody can guarantee it. Again, depends on which area is it and what is they trying to do it, right? Like, and again, depends on what price they have purchased in. If they had purchased the property 4 years, 5 years back, yeah, it certainly makes a difference for you. But if you have bought it last year, maybe then your home prices in Santa Clara for 1,200 or Sunnyvale were already at 2 million, and you add another 500 square footage, right? I think, see, it's one of the Sunnyvale project which one of my client recently purchased was, right? Like they bought this property for 2 million, right? They added a 500 square footage and still they sold it for a 3 million in Sunnyvale. So that time it did make a difference for them. Like they got a 500K. But again, if they bought it 2 years, 3 years back, and now they add a 500 square footage, maybe they can make more money out of it. Right? So that is where the expert comes in. So they need to discuss with the experts like you and me, so that they come to know what is they really doing and how much money they need to spend. How much money they need to spend when they're doing a remodeling.
Correct. Definitely, but there is, I never seen any homeowner losing money after the construction was done. I never seen any case.
Yes, yeah, because a lot of home buyers also, right? They want completely remodeled home, right?
Correct.
So since completely remodeled home, when they're looking in there, okay to give them extra bucks when they're buying it also, because they want it ready to move in.
Correct. Right?
Definitely. So Naresh, if somebody wants to talk to you, like, right, how they can reach out to you?
Hi, my name is Naresh. I'm from NT Bay Area Construction. My phone number is 510-324-6588. You can go into my website, www.ntbayareaconstruction.com. You can message in from there.
Okay. Listeners, if you want to reach out to me, like if you want to do anything on the real estate, like if you are like just a starter or you are an investor who would like to know more about adding your second house or a third house, or like if you like basically want to downgrade or upgrade, keeping your existing homes, and you are even a first-time home buyer, especially first-time home buyers in this market has a lot of questions, especially since I do a mortgage, that makes a difference when buying in a real estate. Recently, Naresh, like one of the client, I was not even a buyer out there, okay? I was a seller for that house, okay? So that buyer, you don't believe it, like he got a 6.75%, which is too high in this market. Me being in a seller, I was able to help them out for a 5.75%. That's almost a 1% saving. Okay. That is where my expertise makes a difference compared to any other realtors out there. Okay, listeners, if you're doing any other, yeah, if you're interested to buy anything on the real estate, do give me a call. It's easy to reach out to me. Go to nagarajhomes.com, click on a WhatsApp icon, and that's the easiest way to connect. And today we had a lot of discussions. And if you are not followed on any of the things, you can call Naresh directly on anything on the remodeling or a construction or anything on the Bay Area real estate. You can give me a call, and you can go to Nagaraj Annaiah's YouTube channel and subscribe for more real estate insightful informations. And thank you so much and have a wonderful day out there. Thank you.